Hello and welcome to my channel. This is Season 2, Episode 6. First thing as always, thank you to those of you that have subscribed to my channel. If you are new, names will go up over here. And thank you to those of you that have been following and supporting me on the forum. Recognition goes up over here. Now, before we get into this video, I need to mention something very important. Sadly, on Tuesday the 2nd of February, we lost a national treasure, Sir Captain Tom Moore, the gentleman, the World War II veteran who raised millions of pounds for the NHS, and sadly he passed away. Hopefully I did, and hopefully you did, joined in the national clap for him, honouring him. And yeah, before we continue, a moment of silence. Okay, moving on. So moving on in a positive way, what I want to do in this video is cover a few little things regarding the UKARA license, and most importantly, this video topic today, buying second-hand RIFs. Now, which one of these RIFs do you think I bought second-hand? So before we get into the topic of second-hand RIFs, I want to cover two things quickly. The first one is, if you haven't seen my video from last week, check it out, helps out the channel. I mentioned about two items. Well, this week they turned up and they are great. Sadly, the first one I want to show you is being tested and fitted for my kit. There are a few pieces missing, so fingers crossed, hopefully I'll show you that soon at some point. And the second one is around here somewhere. Where is it? Where is it? Oh yeah, it's up here. Now, I managed to get this from a surplus shop in the UK, very cheap, just under 10 quid. And this is my Czech cap surplus. It is a Striptarn camo, which is a different version from the Flecktarn. This is my Desert Flecktarn as an example. Now, obviously during the Cold War, during the Warsaw Pact, Russia and other countries under that pact had certain camos, obviously borrowed and copied. So this is a copy of German camo that you've just seen. Obviously that's a modern version. So this is a line pattern one, that's why it's called Striptarn. And yeah, it's a nice little addition to go with my Czech Parker. Okay, let's move on to the second part, the UKARA license. Now, it varies wherever you are on the planet, okay? Now in the UK, you have to attend a certain number of games, 3 to be precise, in 2-3 months. It's been a while since I've done it, so if I got it wrong, I do apologise. Please put your answer in the comments down below, obviously the procedure. And what happens is, obviously you need to turn up just once every month for that time period, or you can turn up as many times as you want to, however much you enjoy Airsoft. Obviously when the fields are safe, fingers crossed, hopefully soon we'll be back on, hopefully, fingers crossed. And it's quite interesting, the UKARA license, you think, what are the benefits of it? And there's a lot of pros and cons, and people can debate about it, but I'm just going to keep it very simple today in this video. Now, the usefulness of a UKARA license is simple. When you want to purchase anything online, especially here in the UK or abroad, they will sometimes ask you for your UKARA license. And if you have one, that's great. You can purchase whatever you want to, again, depending on your budget. If you don't have one, it can be quite difficult to obviously purchase a RIF. So I highly recommend, when you get the chances, fingers crossed, get to a field and sort that out, your UKARA license. And very important, actually, another thing to mention is your membership. Now, I know the fields are being hit hard at these times. Some have closed, sadly. Some are barely able to keep going. And the reason why I bring up the UKARA license and membership is simple. I got an email from my own site saying about renewing your UKARA license and renewing your membership. And I'll be honest, if you are supporting a site and you've got the money, fingers crossed, again, down to your budget, support it if you want to, or you've got to prioritise which one comes first. And at the moment, we're not playing anytime soon, but again, if you want to help out your site, that is up to you. That's why I mentioned this. So, let's get into the most important part now, buying second-hand. Now, I want to thank Zich. I hopefully said that right. If I said it wrong, I do apologise. His name will be at the bottom here. So this was an interesting topic that he brought up because it reminded me of how I started. and I can relate with his situation. I bought a second-hand RIF for my first AEG, and when you get into airsoft, your journey will be completely different or similar to other players, so it's always good to relate. Now, there's always going to be two sides, especially when it comes to second-hand RIFs. You've got the pros and the cons, and my experience so far has been pretty much generally positive every single time so far. You could be one of those people that have had the complete opposite and negative experience every time trying to go second hand. So again, it will vary, okay? Again, it's preference and your choice if you want to buy second hand. I highly recommend to beginners, if you can buy fresh out the box, your own RIF, fair enough. But me, I did it differently. I couldn't afford this particular model, especially because it was brand new. So I was like, right, I want to buy one second hand. And like I said, there are pros and cons, so I want to clarify a few of them. Buying second hand, you may think you've got a good deal, but you've always got to be cautious. So again, if you're planning, and again, this is from my own opinion and experiences, when you're online, very important, okay, yes, use your Cara, okay, very important, because sellers should be asking for that, especially the good ones. And you may go online. Now, I've been on a few sites, so I can highly recommend a few sites. I might go over that another time if you are interested. So here's a few things. In the description, okay, they have to put up pictures, okay? They may not put enough pictures on there, so be aware of that. The description, I highly recommend whatever you're buying, okay, get pictures, okay, on your phone, whether it's actually on your phone or on the laptop, take pictures, because it will always be helpful in case anything does go wrong. And then obviously negotiation skills come in. So very important, don't just buy straight away, because that's not the smartest thing to do. So be cautious and Q&A with this person. Now, if they're wanting to sell it, then fair enough. If they're being a bit difficult, got to be cautious. If they're asking for more money, depending on the situation, whether it's postage or they keep adding and adding, you've got to be concerned. Now, from my experiences, I've had what I like to call two minor bad experiences. They could have been a lot worse. So the first one for my con, okay, is I wanted to buy a pistol, and I was happy to pay a little bit for postage. That's fair enough, okay, paying a little extra. Obviously the guy is trying to make some money back from what he's bought. That's fair enough. Then I said, fine, I'm here, I agree to your price. And then slowly he started adding more and more, and I was like getting a little bit suspicious of this, thinking, why are you asking for a bit more? And I can understand you want a bit more extra money, but here's the important part. Do your comparison homework, people, especially if you're buying second hand, because your prices should actually be lower than getting higher. So compare prices of new models, because then you can be like, hold on, and this is what I did. I was like, hold on, you're asking me to pay for this, which is a $5 less than a new version. And I was like, no, sorry, not interested. And I had to work through that holiday anyway, so two good things came out of that, really. So I got some more money, but I was just like, no. I was prepared to go with the original deal, but you decided to go up the price nearly to a new version, new model, not interested. So that was my bad experience, where the seller was just trying to get more out of it, which I can respect to a certain degree, but when you start to become ridiculous or close to a new version, why bother? And the second bad experience I had buying second hand was I was going to buy a G3 with a wooden grip, and I had been looking for one of these for ages. And I spoke to him, obviously did my negotiation skills. When it comes to this particular thing, always make sure, if you haven't got enough pictures, ask for pictures. If you want to see it operational and working, ask for a video. And they should oblige you, because again, at the end of the day, they want to sell you these second-hand RIFs, okay? If they don't get back to you for whatever reason, you haven't lost anything, just move on and then try and find another second-hand RIF if you can. Now, when it came to this G3, like I said, this thing was going for a great deal, a bargain. And it was under £200, and I was like, I want this. So, literally, nicely said, look, I'm interested, can I see a few pictures of it from this angle? And I didn't ask for a video just yet, and I said, no, I did get a video, sorry, and it was working, and I was like, right, I want to buy that off you. And he said, okay, let's sort it out. Then, I don't like this with certain sellers, don't get into a bidding war, okay? I don't like that. Again, if you choose to do that, that's your own preference, but at the end of the day, if you're the first person there on a system, like on a system in AirSoft, it should go to that first person. Now, I said to him, I agreed to pay this certain amount, and then suddenly out of nowhere, oh, this guy's interested, and I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. We agreed on payment. I agreed on paying you for this RIF, second-hand RIF. Now you're telling me this third party gets a choice? That's not cool. And I didn't want to get into a bidding war, and at the end of the day I said, look, is our deal still on? He never got back to me. So I was pissed off, and I was like, fine, you can let this sucker have it, because at the end of the day, I wasn't prepared to have that. I wasn't going to pay extra or be in a bidding war with someone else. So these are things that you've got to consider. Okay, now this is from my own personal experience, and hopefully this will help you out, especially if you're new or been advanced and haven't bought secondhand. So those are some of the cons there you've got to consider. Not everyone's going to be a saint selling secondhand, so again, always keep your guard up, be nice, negotiate, ask for pictures, ask for videos, and then obviously work out the deal. And hopefully, fingers crossed, you will get that secondhand RIF. Now, I want to get into this quickly, my RIFs. Now, this one here is secondhand. And you've seen this a lot in my videos anyway, so I'll say it again. This is my E&L AKM. I bought this secondhand from the shop that I don't go to anymore. Originally, if you're buying these new, these were £350, give or take, up to £420 plus. And I was like, I want one of these models, but I'm not prepared to pay that much. That's just too much, even in the UK, for one RIF. So I went into the shop when I first started and said, look, could you find me one? I've been looking on YouTube, these look cool. Can you get me one secondhand? And he said, okay, I'll try my best and I'll let you know. And when it comes to shops, that's really all you can expect, really. So you could wait a week, a month, a couple of months, a year, but again, it's depending on how long you want to wait for. That's your preference. But no, within 2 weeks, I believe, give or take, from my memory, he said, oh, I've got an AKM here if you're still interested. And literally on the phone, I was just like, let me finish work and I'll be straight down there. And literally, I was. I didn't want this thing getting out of my sight. Literally, kind of ironic. And literally, this has served me really well. I've had this since I first started. Can't complain. It is solid. It's done its job. And honestly, when this thing does break down, then I can look at it and go, okay, just needs a quick change. Now, here are some of the perks, the pros of buying secondhand. Okay, now I'll put a picture up here. This is originally what it came with. Obviously it's been a few years, and obviously I put more patches in the bag and bought more stuff. So for example, okay, I bought the sling. Okay, this support rail here is actually to support the top handguard because I lost the pin mechanism that actually holds it. So this thing is solid. Funny enough, this is a high cap mag. Don't worry, there's no batteries or BBs, safety first. And it's a pull high cap, so hopefully won't knock myself out here. Now, on one day when I was playing, I completely stacked it because it was slippery due to the rain and everything. And literally, this is heavy, full metal and wood, close to the real AK as you can get. And it completely broke my original. Apologies there, what happened is simply my phone died, and whilst waiting for it to charge, that landed to my side here, nearly fell on me. Thankfully I had reflexes, so a bit of a comedy sketch there you didn't see. But anyway, let's focus and get back onto the topics. Second-hand RIFs, the pros of buying. Now, when I spoke to the guy on the phone, he didn't mention anything else that was coming with the RIF. I assumed naturally it would come with the mag, and I was prepared to buy the battery. but I was quite surprised. It came with a high cap mag, which I was very surprised by. Came with a mid cap, obviously the RIF itself and the bag. That's 4 things, and I paid 300 quid for that, which was fantastic considering at the time the prices of these were very expensive, and I didn't even think about buying extra mags at the time or a gun bag, so naturally those few things were covered. Now when you buy second-hand deals, sometimes they will show you everything that comes with it. Obviously this was bought through the shop, so he didn't show me anything, pictures or anything. I just came into the shop to see it, and thankfully I left satisfied. So when it comes to buying second-hand, sometimes you can be actually really fortunate with your bargains and get some additional accessories like an extra mag, a gun bag, sights, flashlights, rail grips. You don't know what you might get sometimes, which can always be a plus. Now, very important, I'm going to take this mag out. I'm going to put this down here for a second. Now, I asked the person at the shop, who runs the shop, and obviously sold me this, bargain. I asked him to get me some mags, and considering, can you get me some more mags for this rifle, I thought he'd get the right ones. He got the right brand, but he got the wrong mags. Now, if you're an AK guy, you know that this was specifically designed for this model, and this one was for the other one that you saw earlier. So yeah, that was a bit odd, and I should have kind of picked up on that afterwards. But nevertheless, these do work in this RIF, but as you can tell, it was not built for this. And you may say it's me just being picky, but at the end of the day, when you're playing Airsoft and you're enjoying it, I hope that you are enjoying it, you obviously want the right things for the right RIF. So what's going to happen is I'm going to put this one back in, and then put it over here. So I'm going to move on to my next AHE. Don't fall. Now, funny enough, this is the same brand. Now, this is my E&L AKS 74U. Now, originally I wasn't planning to get this, but because I held on to these mags, he got me 3 of these, by the way, if I didn't mention that. And I'm one of those people that will hold on to things until they serve a purpose, or I'll just get rid of them eventually. And these go with this. So I had 3 of them ready to go. Now, what was great, again, this was second-hand as well, so both of these were bought second-hand, okay? And I was expecting it because I saw a picture, I saw a video of it working, and he showed me everything that was going to come with it, and it was going to come with these 3 mags, which I'm going to show you. So this is the original one. Well, I say the original one. I think it came with the RIF, and he bought these 2 additional ones. And as you can see, they're the same, but just a different colour. And I'll just put this last one in, just to get some idea. Now, what's great about this is, again, I didn't expect this, and it came in a box. It came in the original box, which I got rid of, and what also came in the box as well, and this wasn't mentioned in the description at all, he put this in as well. And it is a tactical undergrip. So give me 1 second. So you can take this part out here and replace it with this, so you can put your flashlights on, your lasers, or your grip, whatever you want to do. And he didn't charge extra for that, you just put it in. And this was £260, I believe, and I think there was some postage. Again, I can't remember off the top of my head, most likely, but for 260 quid, I got a very good RIF. And people also mention the descriptions there internally, what they've done. So some people will say, oh, this has been internally upgraded, it's got a MOSFET trigger guard, it's got an extended barrel. I don't know all the technicals, but again, they will all mention it in the description if they're being honest. And yeah, I was very fortunate to get this second hand, and this is probably my second highest use of KD ratios. So I'm going to put it down there. Hopefully it doesn't fall. Stay. Now, those were 2 examples there of buying second hand, and I have got quite a few in my collection that I also bought second hand, and they also came with some extra gear, which is sometimes fantastic. And I'll be honest, some of my gear that came with it Some of it was either broken or needed repairing, and that was either mentioned or it wasn't, but it wasn't like a big loss. They can be easily replaced, some of these pieces. And yeah, that's really it for second-hand RIFs. So there's pros and cons, so let me sum it up here. I'll put the details up here for the cons, and I'll put the details up here for the pros. And again, it's your own experience and luck really when it comes to buying second-hand RIFs. And again, you can buy these, like I've said before, you can buy them online, at a site, at a shop, and even some players on the day, again, this depends on if the sites will allow them to obviously advertise on the day, selling their RIFs, if they are allowed to. And yeah, you might even walk away from the day with hopefully something good, which you can actually test at an airsoft site. So yeah, that's my own personal opinion and experiences on second-hand RIFs. Hopefully you've enjoyed that. If there is anything I've missed, please feel free to put your answers in the comments down below. I tried to think of a few things, and like all things, I'm only human, so I've probably made mistakes. If I've missed anything, please let me know in the description down below. And yeah, that's it for this video. So like, comment, share and subscribe. Don't forget to click the little bell icon so you know when the next video is. I enjoyed making this video. I look forward to making the next video. The most important thing you can do is stay safe.